All right, so we've finally finished, and well, it's time to take some screenshots, put some video in there for our portfolios. It's been a long process, and I feel that um, it still needs a lot of polishing. Definitely. Big picture, it's all there. We just need to develop more the the environment overall and the ground and personalize it, adding props and things, small things, just so it feels a little bit more alive. And what better way to make it more alive or put together than just adding those little bits of animation, such as maybe adding flags, adding effects, and clouds and all that. Something that makes the environment move. We also need to polish a little bit our add some blending materials and some props, something that makes it look like there's people living there. So right now I'm just gonna go around and look for like the biggest offenders. I think the roof might need some love and adding some textures, extra textures. Okay, so let's jump in. So you can see I already added material layer, paint layer to this material, and I'm able to paint in between the cracks of the roof. And I'll show you in a little bit the material, but it's really cool that you can just, instead of relying on your texture out of Painter, we can just do it here. And so I'll go lightly, go around and just trying to paint as much as I can the areas where I think it needs it. Usually like areas like closer to the roof, to any crevice. That will be a good idea for things to grow. All right, let's look at our material. It's very simple. And this is based on a height lerp node, which will blend based on our height map information. And we fit it to a 1 minus so we can invert it. And then this goes directly into the height lerp, and vertex color goes into a transition, and finally we lerp between those two colors. Let's not forget to do the same for the normal map and roughness, so we get that nice variation on the normal and roughness. All right, so let's continue with painting. I'm gonna be pretty much painting the whole roof. It's quite an amount of work. So I have all of those roofs. But then again, I feel like this is like the most fun part of the project, where you just get to polish and just go around and find where you can make it look better, adjust the attributes of maybe something, the colors, the materials. And also, I feel like it's also one of those areas where one gets impatient and just wants to finish it just because we are tired of working really hard on it and we just want to see it finish. Maybe that's my case, I guess. Yeah, gotta be careful not to stare at it too close. It's good to like to view it from a distance just to see how patchy this thing's looking. Um, yeah, it's a bit patchy, but we'll get back to it. Um, let's just keep moving around. Again, let's add a little bit there. Remember that this style of roof, slate, usually attracts a lot of microorganisms, and things grow easily on top of them. All right, so I feel like it's at a good point. Let's start bringing some decals, and just gotta be careful that don't stretch too much, as is since it's the roof, you barely see the stretching, but there's some areas where, like this area, where there might be a problem. Just gotta be careful to not overdo it, because it's really fun to do this part. Let's just be careful not to overdo it, because otherwise it's gonna look dirty, or our work is not gonna show. So I'm still figuring out the roof a little bit. I'm not really happy how it looks with all this splotchiness. I think it's missing something. And the reason that I didn't want to add, I actually had another eave for the door on that building, but I took it out just because it was attracting too much attention, especially since it was in the middle. So I tried to make it as plain as possible, just so all the attention was on the roof, on the first building itself. Well, let's keep adding. Maybe add some on those bricks, stone wall, just so it doesn't look that clean. Maybe some interior. Well, interiors are a different thing. But for now, I'll just add maybe in a couple spots. Because for interiors, we need to be more careful, because since the character could go in there, we don't want to ruin it with stretching of the decals. So it's better to just vertex paint in there. All right, let's add some stripes. Feel like, yeah, it's not working. Maybe if I change the color. Yeah, I think if we change it to a dark tone, something more, yeah, like if it was dirt coming down from it. And it's very subtle, actually. It's not that, I'm not trying to make it as destroy. I mean, I work really hard to make it look nice. Let's keep adding. And also, I added a little bit of roughness, and so you could see when the change in roughness when you see it at an angle. Yeah, I don't think these areas will work for it, because you will get a lot of stretching. Yeah, pretty much decals work only on flat terrains. And at this point, I just go in and I'm not even thinking. I'm just doing stuff. Like I said, this is like the part where you get to enjoy. So I also added a lighter tone for the post, so it looks a little bit more worn out in some areas and darkening in other areas. If also let's bring some effects. The steaming pools need some work there. And previously already I had already worked on this, so already have some effects. I added some bubbles and some steam. That's just gonna make our environment just look alive, look and feel. Some bubbles, and especially when you're thinking about sounds, like in the video in the beginning, I was thinking maybe I can add some water sounds or stuff like that, and bubbles and stuff. So here is the whole thing with all the effects. I bought this cool water shader from Unreal Marketplace, and you can change the colors of the water, the speed. Again, it goes faster here because I'm speeding up the video, but in general, you can change a lot of parameters on this. I'm also adding some fog cards. As you can see, I'm moving him around, and I added a little bit of panning to it. Unfortunately, there you can see a little bit of that edge in certain areas, so I gotta be careful where I put him. Try to hide it away from our main shot. And I bought those also from Unreal Marketplace. I think they call Easy Fog. And so I place several all over the place just to give me a little bit of depth and separation between. Just because when you use the fog in Unreal, you really don't get spatial separation like you want. So just adding a few of these cards will give you more control over where you want it to look. So right now I'm trying to see where I can put this one, but if I put it in the back, I think it's just gonna hide my waterfall. So really, there's not a good spot for it. Nah, just get rid of it. So as you can see, I also added some cards in between this mountain. So when you see it at a distance, you could see a little bit of layers. All right, so let's assess what it's left to do, which is not going to be covered in this video. My area was or what I wanted to show is how to make the pieces. Of course, I'm not just going to make the pieces and not assemble something. So this is a big plus that I was able to make something this big parts. I feel like another probably not another couple months working on the terrain and working on the grass and just maybe adding a little bit more variety. So I try as much as I could not to rely on mega scans, but they're the plants itself they really are much better than I really don't like making plants. That's for sure. I really like this area. Looks pretty cool. All those rocks. Yeah, here's another shot that I was thinking of when I finish better the house, and I think yeah, the more I see it, the more I want to do. All right, so this is our zoo. It's good to have a file where a level where you just have all the pieces together, and so you can present all the elements that you use for this. And here are some of the materials that I got from Megascans. Here are all the pieces of the house. There are not that many actually. I might be missing a few pieces, but yeah, it's it's a lot of them. And let me show you one thing here. For example, out of three shields, actually, I was able to make all these variations by just using masks. So, for example, if I can change the pattern really easy, and I can change the color of the pattern if I want to, and I can change the color of the paint underneath, and that gives us flexibility so it doesn't look repetitive. And so you just use a mask to blend in between a solid color and our albedo, and then another mask for the pattern, and that's it. To show you the power of masks, because I was able to save a lot of textures by just using masks. All right, so last words, I guess. Do not get discouraged. It takes a lot of time and dedication. If you can make one prop every 2 days or 3 days, you will finish in 3 months, just like I did. If not, just keep it short. Don't make it as big as I did. Make a small corner and see how it goes. Also choose your battles. As you can see, I pretty much borrow textures and foliage and bought some effects. I bought the sky, the water shaders. These are the things that I don't get to do at work, especially effects and lighting. Materials I do, but and foliage sometimes. But yeah, as part of my description, it will be building the environment, building the parts needed, and well, the rest is just having fun. So have fun while you do this and make something really, really cool.